Hey guys, so we got childhood trauma. Now we're going to start off with the fact that you have a subconscious mind, and that subconscious mind has memory about everything that you've ever experienced, even if you don't consciously remember it, basically. Now that software is created from age 2 to 7 while the brain is in a theta hypnotic state. Now we spend 95% of our lives in the subconscious, unaware of our patterns, thoughts, and behaviors, and your core subconscious beliefs are the driving force behind all of your choices. Okay, so if you don't fix the subconscious mind, you're going to keep making stupid ass decisions and self-sabotaging everything that really matters to you, basically. Now, after that, it holds the homeostatic impulse, which keeps you thinking the same thoughts and reliving the same patterns. Now, unconscious thinking is thought, emotion, habitual reaction. You're doing something stupid over and over again because you keep thinking about that thought and you're not addressing it and feeling and trying to heal it and accept it. You're just going every single day the same shit, making the same stupid ass decisions. So, conscious thinking is when you have thought, but then you question that thought. Why am I even having this negative thought? Does this thought serve who I want to become? And if I don't believe this thought, like, what can I make out of this moment? What can I do out of this moment? And you make a decisive behavioral decision to be and to do different, essentially. Now, what is childhood trauma? Oh my God, Cindy, I don't have childhood trauma. I have a perfect ass life. Okay. Most people believe that childhood trauma is just emotional, physical abuse, or they don't even know that they were emotionally abused. That's the sad part. And then they got mommy issues and daddy issues, and they wonder why they cannot connect to people. Okay? And let's remember the biggest thing here, that little things build up into big problems. Okay? You don't address that big problem, it's going to continue. You're going to be miserable. 1, not being seen or heard. Your parents probably didn't listen to you or didn't watch you enough or didn't seem to care in some way, in some regard. Now, 2, parents are unconsciously molding and shaping you from a place of their own unhealed trauma. 3, having a parent who vicariously lives through their child. 4, being told certain emotions make you weak or undesirable. 5, lack of boundaries, disclosing marital issues and they're prying or spying or over-involvement in relationships. 6, a parent who focuses on overcompensating for things that were lacking in their own childhood. 7, having a parent that denies your reality. 8, having a parent that focuses heavily on appearances with body, hair, clothing, and makeup, essentially. That can be traumatizing to where when you get older one day, you have a warped idea, or you almost feel like you're never going to be enough because you don't look like her, or you may suffer from different types of problems such as that. And you're told that, you can't really be just natural and just be who you are. You have to be done up and fake and and it can go overboard, as you've seen with plastic surgery today. Now, you have 9, being an emotional support for your own parents. That in itself is traumatizing, that you don't even get to be a child. Essentially, when parents split up, you're forced to do what you got to do. That in itself is traumatizing, especially when they don't give you the same or the right amount of emotional care. Essentially, this happens many times when it's like a single mother and she's there and she may not even be able to regulate her emotions, which is number 10. That's like having a parent who cannot regulate their own emotions. And because they don't regulate their own emotions, you believe yours don't matter, essentially. So these different things happen. And this is considered traumatizing. You have childhood trauma if you were able to identify with some of these things. It is something that needs to be improved. Not always is it extreme. A childhood trauma is not always extreme. But it builds up. These little things build up where you probably identify with feeling stuck, having toxic relationship patterns, you feel lack of self-worth, and you don't trust yourself or others. Basically, you feel lost and you don't know how to set and keep boundaries, and you fill your life up with people who you don't truly have to give emotion towards or talk about emotion with, and they're selfish because they don't have a need to really talk about your emotions. And that can put you in a very, very, very bad situation where you're giving a lot of energy to someone and you're realizing, oh wow, that are not a real friend because they don't really care about my emotions. Now, we have childhood. Now, they usually say, oh, my child was happy, peaceful, and blissful, and perfect. Now, some feel shame of even saying anything that they believe is bad about their parent because they feel like it's basically a byproduct of a trauma response. And when we're not even blaming the parents at this point, but as adults, it is 100% your responsibility to step the fuck up and fix yourself, okay? It really is if you want the happiness that you really want. Now, they did the best that they could, okay, with their own problems, okay, and their own awareness. That was all that they could truly do. And it's not you, though. The way that they treated you, that's not you. That may have been the way you were treated, but now you have patterns, conditioning, generational trauma that you've inherited. And the point is that it's not who you are. And you have to have awareness of that and awareness of it, essentially, so you can heal it. And as we release it, we break cycles, okay? We embrace consciousness of self and understanding of conscious parenting. When that time comes for you, when you do have a child, you don't repeat that cycle. And nobody wants to be with someone who can't even deal with their emotions in some way. They don't want that. They don't. Because they're thinking of the future, oh shit, you can't deal with that. What will my child see? You have to improve. What type of child will we have? Like these things have to be fixed in general. They just do. Because when you don't, you self-sabotage yourself to get hurt in the end because you didn't step up when you could have stepped up. After we release it and everything, we begin nurturing our seeds and they grow up to be self-actualized and confident. Okay, not some fake confidence where you're fishing for compliments, but you're truly confident. And they're not confused, they're not insecure, they're not indecisive, okay? And they're not self-sabotaging their potential happiness in life. And they're not stagnant in emotional maturity. There's an emotional maturity you start to lack when you are that detached from your own emotions. And you're not dealing with your own emotions, or you're so fueled into your emotions you believe that those are your emotions. And that's just the way it is. No. That is a memory that needs to be put in the fucking past, and you need to accept it for what it is so you can move the fuck on and be happy. Okay? You become a living, breathing example, okay, of an extension of your parent when you do that. And it's not pretty. When you're self-actualized and you're an aware individual, you're able to have healthy relationships, you're able to feel worthy of fulfillment and that you deserve to not have pain. You're able to project rather than project your pain of false self onto others. You are whole as it is. There's no pain that you need to project onto others because you've already healed it. Your mind is on one mission, just to keep it safe and keep us comfortable. Don't, just avoid resistance and discomfort and being seen essentially for who you feel you are. But if you allow your brain and your mind to make decisions, you'll never find fulfillment. And if you're always looking for outside validation and as your only source of nourishment, you will be hungry for the rest of your fucking life. Okay? And if you give too much too soon, they will fall in love with your hand and not your heart. Okay? Accept the mental resistance as a part of this game that you're playing, basically, and that there are a stream of thoughts that aren't even your own. So someone gave them to you. Someone gave you those thoughts by even having those decisions and by creating those actions around you and doing that towards you. Now you got to learn to watch, observe, and separate them. Okay, these thoughts, you've got to do that. And then do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Anyways, like whatever you felt you couldn't do, whatever you felt you couldn't do to show up for yourself and be happy, you should now be able to do because you've observed it and you've decided, okay, I need to sit down and I need to really accept this and heal. Okay, I really need to figure this out. I'm going to give you some 10 straight ass facts that's going to wake some people the fuck up, okay? 1, the average human life is relatively short. 2, you will only ever live the life that you create for yourself. 3, being busy does not mean being productive, okay? 4, some kind of failure always happens before success. 5, Thinking and being or doing are two very different things. Thinking and doing are two very different things. 6, you don't have to wait for an apology to forgive. Okay, 7, some people are simply the wrong match for you. Okay, sometimes it's not meant to work out. Sometimes it is. Depends on how much consciousness somebody is willing to step up to meet you on the same energy length, okay? 8, it's not other people's job to love you. It's yours. Okay, it's your job to step up and to stop fishing for compliments and to figure your shit out. Do what you gotta do. Get some self-love. Learn why you're surrounding yourself with people that don't really give a fuck. You gotta do what you gotta do. 9, what you own is not who you are. It isn't. You're way more than the possessions, and 10, everything changes every second. There is something constantly changing, and if you don't change with it, it's going to change without you. You got to wake up and realize that too. Also, sometimes we give so much support to other people because of the fact that we're scared to even receive it. Try to fill our lives with just, that is good enough, that makes me feel better because I don't deserve it. No, you do deserve it. You're choosing not to have it. There's a difference, okay? Stop with the fucking pitying shit. You got to step up and decide that you deserve that shit. You want to be treated like it. Now, you got to take inventory of the top 5 people you speak with, and most frequently are they the people, those 5 people are the people that feed you spiritually. On a daily, you should do this every 30 days. And if they're not feeding you spiritually, not truly, and there's someone wasting your fucking time or not really giving what you think is as healthy as you think it is, you need to make adjustments. Wake the fuck up and make adjustments. You got to, okay? It's necessary here. And 5 ways for you to really avoid that feeling of, oh my God, I'm scared to face criticism. It's okay to face criticism. 1, criticism doesn't take away from your worth. 2, you gotta acknowledge it if there is any truth in it, basically, in the criticism. And you gotta reflect on why you are behaving the way you are when you are criticized. You also have to accept your flaws and choose to love yourself anyways and identify ways that you can grow. Okay? Now, isolation, you don't have to be single in order to get your shit together with the right partner. The right partner will not hinder you, okay? They will do the opposite and give you the push you need to take those next steps you would have been afraid to take on your own. So this whole, oh my God, I'm so scared, let me internalize or maybe isolate. A lot of people do that too, or they isolate because they're so scared of connection and in the perfect safe situation to pursue something different and something better with time, but they can't even see it yet. So open up your eyes, figure that shit out, you guys. You don't need to be their peace at all. Honestly, you need to be at peace with yourself so you don't disturb their peace. That's the point of it. Ding! Okay? But I love him. Well, that sometimes means that you don't love your damn self. Because sometimes people don't deserve the love that you're giving when they're not able to reciprocate it. So act accordingly and do what you gotta do regardless of how much you love that person. You gotta respect yourself and love you too. Because you deserve that and they're not really giving it the way that you want it. Woman's point of view is, imagine being a little girl and never feeling safe because of all the men that have been trying to have sex with you basically or control you your entire life. And imagine having to date for love without PTSD in this day and age and in this climate. It feels damn near impossible basically, but you also can't complain about men anymore until you start getting better at picking them. Okay? This gives you a better guide of why you may feel the way that you've been feeling about your trauma. You need to start picking the right guys and stop saying all guys are not amazing. Okay? There's some good guys out there. A man's point of view is you aren't supposed to watch someone die as a youngin'. You're not supposed to. And you lack a role model that looks like you. You're raised by the opposite sex who will never understand what it is to be you. And you grow up with no food in the house. That isn't normal. That's war. There's different things where it's like, this is war. This is not normal. That's fucking traumatic too. Okay? And just because you're able to carry it well, it does not mean it's not heavy. And if you have to tell someone the same exact thing about how you feel and nothing changes, that means that they don't respect you. And if you've been doing this, and if you've been basically just doing this to someone and you haven't been able to empathize with them, empathize. Turn it around and say, how would I feel if they were doing this to me? I wouldn't like that. And stop. And you gotta act accordingly. You have to think about how that would make you feel and act accordingly, you guys.